Welcome back into the North Star Takes podcast with Bailey Palicki and Jacob Liberta. You can find all our videos here on our YouTube channel, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, feel free to give us a follow on both Twitter and Instagram as well. Today, we're going to get into Vikings-Lions preview, I guess, for this upcoming, basically, it's a must-win situation for the Vikings here. They're 1-3 going into this game, which I think a lot of people figured they'd be around 2-2 or so. So dropping that game to the Bengals really hurts us at this point. But do you feel that the Vikings have the ability to get back on track here and have a statement win, maybe even just blow out the Lions and kind of put some confidence back into the fan base?
Yeah, I think the Vikings got a great opportunity here to get back on track. I think this is about as weak as it gets on the schedule this year, so this has to be a win. If it's not, then I think people might be fired on Monday. No joke. So I think that
Wow.
this is still like we were saying. It's a great chance just because obviously Detroit is not very good. They're in their first season with Dan Campbell. Feel like they still have a lot to figure out. Meanwhile, we're in a situation where win now, or at least we're supposed to be win now. So I think we have the like this has the makings of a game where it's like I don't want to put this where all the pressure and all the negativity is really weighing down on a guy like let's say Kirk. But this is usually when he comes out to play. Is usually when the doubters get pretty loud, or then they just start getting disinterested with the team altogether. And I feel like maybe we hit that point after that loss last week. That was pretty deflating, but then again, they could crumble under the pressure too. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think this could tell you a lot about this team. I think they need to come out here and make a statement. And I think they will, but at the same time, I guess it wouldn't shock me either if we lost and like the wheels completely fell off the wagon, and then we're really wondering what the future looks like for this team in general beyond just 2021.
Yeah, I think the Vikings team I know and expect to see is a team that'll come out and win this game. And then they'll come out and beat Carolina. They'll be back to 500 at the bye. They'll rope everyone back in. And then they have that tough schedule after the bye where they'll start to, lose traction in the standings. But yeah, I think the Vikings should win this game easily. Jared Goff has been okay with the Lions, but he just has zero supporting cast outside of TJ Hawkinson. So get after Jared Goff all day. Send the rush, send the blitz. Just get after them. I saw that they're without their top 3 offensive linemen, I believe.
Yeah, I think I saw that too.
So, there's no excuse for this defensive line to not get after it. Even if Michael Pierce is looking like he's going to be out for a little while, the line needs to get after it against this offensive line. And yeah, I'm expecting good things from the defense this week. This needs to be a strong defensive week because if you look rough against the Lions, man, I don't know if there's any hope for this defense really turning it around. And got Cam Dantzler on the COVID list, Harrison Hand on the COVID list. Remains to be seen if they'll be eligible to come off before Sunday. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I think the offense will have a good day. I think Dalvin Cook's going to be questionable to play, so that'll be interesting to see how that kind of turns out too. But Kirk Cousins shouldn't have any issues throwing to Jefferson, Thielen, Osborne, getting Gronklin involved as well. And heck, if Madison's got to play again, he can shoulder the load against the Lions too. So this is your classic noon on Sunday, Fox game at home. Fan base, packing 60,000 people into that stadium. It's going to be loud for Jared Goff. So, yeah, I'm thinking the Vikings can pull it off, and they'll get back to 2-3, and everyone will be talking about sunshine and rainbows on Monday when the reality is they're still under 500.
Yeah, I think like you said, this probably does have the makings. I love the way you put that noon slot against a definitely below average team for Kirk. This is when he thrives really. I think that this has all the makings of a game where it's just this pretty win. Obviously, the Vikings is probably one of my biggest nitpicking things that I can think of over these last few years with Kirk and the combo between him and Zim and not beating good teams. Is I think a lot of that has to do with we can't win ugly. We don't win any
Right.
games ugly, and you're not going to have a bunch of pretty wins against good teams. Like that just doesn't happen unless you're the best team in the league, and clearly we aren't. So
Yeah.
I think starting this week we have to. I think this should be a pretty win, but beyond this week, I feel like we need to also find ways to win ugly after the bye week because I think that's when, like we keep saying, that's when it really gets difficult. We're going to play a lot of quality opponents, and I feel like that's when we're just going to have to find ways to win by any means necessary because maybe I'm already looking past this game too much, but I think that this really comes down to building confidence. And like you said, I think the defense needs to come out and have a statement performance this weekend, because should be the bread and butter of this team with a defensive-minded head
Yeah.
coach. So, and if it's not, that's really concerning about how good our coaching staff really is. And I think that this defense has to be able to dominate a Jared Goff-led offense that literally doesn't have that much talent at all these skill positions, and the fact that he's a statue quarterback like Kirk. So I think this has to be the week where the defense gets right and finally starts to gain some upward momentum when they start playing better teams. Like, for instance, it starts in Carolina next week, albeit I'm still not a big believer in the Panthers, but I mean, they're 3-1. So I think you got to respect it at least a little bit, especially on the road. So I think this weekend, I think it has to be a big win just to get everybody to buy in again. But like you said, maybe just setting it up for disappointment later on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the thing. Like you said, you're already kind of looking past this game. They can't afford to do that. If they look past the Lions at all, they're going to be absolutely screwed.
Yeah.
So, because the Lions have been competitive. They were close with the Ravens. The Packers they were close with in the first half. So they've had some good competitive games here. But
I think Dan Campbell knows how to lead people and how to get people excited, how to get people in the right mindset for a game.
Exactly. Yeah. At the very least, he can fire them up, even if he's not the brightest X's and O's coach. So
exactly.
Let's get into our X factors here. Who is your X factor for the game this week?
My X factor. This might sound kind of silly, but I'd legitimately say Mike Zimmer, just because I think that this defense has been, or I guess maybe not quite Mike Zimmer. The defense was pretty solid last week. Their run defense was atrocious, and that can't happen again. So really, I think this is a game where the defense needs to come out and win it for us, and or play well in a game that we win, because so far this year we have not seen that many good results. Obviously, last week was pretty good. I still think that Seattle game, I think there's a lot of combining factors into that. The offense was able to hold on the ball for an unrealistic amount of time, just because they had all these nice, pretty drives, like we were saying, with pretty wins. But I think the defense needs to come out and make a statement. I think they have to finally shore up that run D specifically, but I think just taking over a game and basically play like they did last week, but just stopping the run. This run defense is much better this year, and it just isn't so far. So I want to see the defense finally put it all together. I feel like we haven't seen that yet. Just a wire-to-wire performance that you feel good about.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of along the same lines as you. My X factor is going to be Danielle Hunter. With Taylor Decker being out there left tackle, I mean, he should be having a field day against these backup linemen. So,
and he usually does against the Lions.
Yeah, he usually feasts against the Lions. So I'm expecting a big day out of Danielle Hunter. Hopefully he can scare Jared Goff a little bit and get him riled up, force him into a couple picks or something. It'd be nice to see a couple turnovers by the defense as well, just like creating turnovers, give our offense a short field, or at least flip field position, stuff like that. Just the little things that really haven't been happening so far. So, yeah, I'm interested to see Danielle Hunter get after the passer. And, yeah, like you said, his marquee games are usually against the Lions. So it'd be nice to see him have a huge game this week. All right. Lastly here, let's get into our score predictions. How are you feeling the score is going to shake out this weekend?
I think the Vikings, like we keep saying, they need to have a pretty good win, and I think they'll get just that. I think in recent years, especially against, I think, a better quarterback, obviously, and Matt Stafford, I think that they've walked away with some good wins against the Lions, and I think that this game will be no different than that. I feel like they'll continue their success with Kirk against Detroit, and the Vikings will win, let's say, 31-17. That's what I'll say. I feel like
two touchdowns.
2 touchdowns is a lot, but I feel like this team will respond after a pretty deflating loss to the ex-assistant Stefanski last week.
Nice. Yeah, I like that score. I'm going to go a little lower than you. I'm going to go 28-17.
Okay.
I think we'll score 4 touchdowns. Hopefully Greg Joseph won't be asked to kick any field goals, which, going back to Greg Joseph, I'm fine with him. Like, I trust him still. He missed that one kick, obviously, but he's been pretty solid overall, besides missing the game-winning field goal against the Cardinals. So, but yeah, I think it'll be a 28-17 type game. It'll probably be close until the fourth quarter, and we'll kind of start to pull away. So that's typically how games go against the Lions. Like, we never really truly blow them out.
True.
They're typically closer. I remember last year that end of the season, just kind of a shootout type
That
game.
I know, just a totally worthless Week 17 game, but all the offense that was had in that matchup, oh my gosh! And that's what I was just going to say too. I expect a lot from Jefferson this week. I think with
Yes.
Dalvin banged up, I mean, obviously they got Madison too, but I feel like they're going to be more inclined to throw the ball and throw it at a successful rate. And I feel like that starts with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be great to see him have a huge game once again. I know he loves playing in front of that home crowd, so hopefully we can see some big games from all the superstars this weekend. Get all the fans feeling better about this team again. So that's going to do it for this edition of the North Star Takes podcast. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give us a like on this video as well if you're excited for this week. Is it week 5? Yeah, week 5 matchup with the Detroit Lions on Sunday. And leave your comments below about how you're feeling, how this game's going to go. Do you think the Vikings will blow them out? Do you think it'll be close? Do you think Zimmer's getting fired on Monday? So yeah, leave your comments below. Give us a follow on both Twitter and Instagram. And thanks for watching.